Hello cadets, today we are going to discuss the unification of Germany under the chapter The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. So one of the major features of the 19th century history of Europe was the struggles for national unification, and the Germany was the one important nation which emerged as united independent states in the 19th century. So if we talk about the background of this unification, so in the 18th century, Germany was divided into a number of states. Some of these states were very small and didn't extend beyond the limits of a city. During the Napoleonic Wars, many of these states coexisted. At the end of the war, there were still 38 independent states in Germany, and among them, Prussia, Württemberg, Bavaria, and Saxony were fairly large states. We can see in the map the area of Germany, Prussia, Saxonia. This part is Germany, and it got invaded from Prussia, Austria, also from the Austrian Hungary Empire. So now in the part of antecedents, there was a Germanic world with its language, its civilization that had been formulated by Fichte in 1808 in his address to the German nation. This was the intellectual root of this German unification. Apart from this economic roots, the first step was the creation of the Zollverein in 1834, which we are aware. Zollverein was a policy of trade and commerce. It was a custom union that managed to combine in a large market to dozens of states. But this Zollverein was also not capable enough to unify the different confederations of Germany. So here comes the contribution of Otto von Bismarck, the real architect of German unification. So Otto von Bismarck, who became Prussian minister president in 1862, and he accepted the necessity of national unification without Austria and was determined to bring united Germany under the hegemony of the conservative, anti-liberal Prussian monarchy. Now Germany was to be unified not into a democratic country by the efforts of revolutionaries, but by the rulers into an empire. In the first stage of unification of Germany, the war against Denmark and Russia is very much important. The first aim Otto von Bismarck pursued was the elimination of Austria from the German Confederation. For this, he aligned with Austria in a war against Denmark that took place in 1863 over the possession of the German duchies of Schleswig and Holstein, which were under the control of the Danes. And after Denmark's defeat, he entered into an alliance with Italy against Austria and defeated Austria in the 7 Weeks' War that took place in 1866 and dissolved the German Confederation. Thus, Austria was separated from other German states. Thus, in the second stage of unification, the Austrian-Prussian War, the differences between the victors were used by Bismarck for starting a war against Austria that we have discussed in 1866, and the victory of Prussia, that is also called the Battle of Sadowa, surprised everyone by his speed. Now this is the third stage of the unification. Under this, the outcome of the Prussian War against Austria came as a bad surprise to France, because for centuries French policy makers had aimed to keep Germany divided and weak, and suddenly a strong German power had been allowed to expand through much of Germany. France was alarmed and tried to renew its traditional ties with the South German states. And finally, Napoleon III, hoping for a military victory to stabilize his weakening regime, declared war on Prussia on 19 July 1870, and France was isolated diplomatically and the well-organized Prussian army with its allies destroyed the main French army in September. And after war, France had to cede the coal-rich provinces of Alsace and Lorraine to Germany. And this was, by this way, the all three nations, Austria, Denmark, and France, was subsided from the path of unification of Germany. Hence, Germany's unification was completed as a result of the war, which enabled Bismarck to absorb the remaining German states into a united Germany. And the formal ceremony at which King William I of Prussia took the title of German Emperor was held Versailles in France. It was all about the unification of Germany. Thank you.